You're the 5th or 6th person that's asked me about this, and I told you before we even got on camera that I wasn't going to talk about this. I don't care about Doug Polk, and I don't want to talk about him, so let's just move on.
I don't know what retirement even means with poker. You don't have to retire. There's no gold watch. You just stop playing and just keep it to yourself.
We're just sick of hearing about it. You know, Berkey's our friend. We're worried about him.
I wasn't there. I don't really know what happened at Live at the Bike, but I would think whatever excuse he gave was just hardcore bullshit.
You know, he got scared. That happens sometimes. Berkey got shook.
No, I don't think he was scared. He just didn't have the money. Simple.
He didn't have the money to play. I mean, all he had was Bitcoin and they wouldn't take any.
I was hoping that the whole thing would just blow over. And then Berkey got called out.
And when I saw Doug put him on blast like that, I was like, damn, DP, like get him, but be civil.
He was using Berkey's own words against him. And honestly, some pretty sick top-of-the-line graphics. I don't really know how he got his hands on that if he knows people at Pixar.
When two grown men feud, it can get ugly. We all know that.
I mean, yeah, like I literally know what it's like to be in war now. I mean, you know, when people say support the troops, you're welcome.
It was tough on all of us, really. I just didn't want to be affiliated with Berkey.
I've actually reached out to Doug, waiting for a response, see what he's gonna say. I think he's a really great fit for a new uncle.
It was hard to get through the comments because just the wit, and it's not just the wit though. It's like, you know, they found out what makes him vulnerable and they just ate it.
Yeah, I guess someone called him a giant wank, and at that point, he just went off the grid.
I'd do the same thing. I would just disappear. Look at what Hillary did after Trump.
I just had no idea where he was. We were so worried.
I'm not saying Doug is like Trump, because I don't even think Trump has a webcam.
Eventually I texted Brian and just asked if they'd checked his room.
We went up there and he was pretty unresponsive. I mean, it took him a while to even sit up.
Just not the same person.
He was in rough shape. We had to pull him out of bed, teach him to walk again. He basically became a piece of shit.
I've known Berkey for 20 years, you know, and I've never seen him this weak. I mean, he wouldn't work out. He lost his taste for eggs. You know, I don't even want to talk about the piss cups.
I asked him what they were, and he tells me they're piss in the solo cups. I mean, there's a toilet right there. I might be lying to myself, but I don't think he was drinking the urine.
In light of the allegations from Live at the Bike, it's in my best interest to retire from poker. The past few weeks have taught me a lot about honor and courage, and how my aggressive, spewy style of play is clearly just me overcompensating for being a shell of a man off the felt. Effective immediately, I'll be refunding all the money to anyone I've ever won a pot off of, along with an apology box of Krispy Kreme donuts, as a metaphor for how soft and flaky I've become.
So you want to hear about me and Kweli?
To get by, just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. We commute to computer, spirits stay mute while your ego spread.
Not sure how much we can disclose here, but fuck it.
What's happening right now? I feel like we're incognito.
Well, we're about to do a little experiment and test some of Chin's capabilities.
You
jumped the moss? Jesus Christ! Fucking redline the goddamn thing. We out this bitch. You got a permit? Do you actually have a permit?
Wait, so you're not mad that I took your car?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, good. I went 50 in it. We deleted that because we were scared you were gonna bad.
That you went 50?
Yeah. This motherfucker told me to delete it. He told me to delete it. He's gonna get mad. You'll never give Corey the car. You'll never give Eric the car.
Kiss my little baby girl, there's a
Man, nothing would have made me happier than to catch you just rolling down this hill like a bowling ball.
Chin, how you feeling about this hike?
I already went to the gym today.
What do you think about this abandoned zoo?
I don't get it. It's like we're like, so I go to the zoo. I want to see white tigers. I want to see animals, but we go to a zoo that has no animals. What's the whole point of a zoo?
Whole squad here is just thrilled.
This is so weird. I feel like I'm 6, but like Nick smells like booze, so it kind of reminds me that I'm an adult.
That's the tiny Eiffel.
Come on!
Corey just splashing water.
This is Disney. This is not Disney appropriate.
Okay, Mr. Disney appropriate just talked about his butthole for 20 minutes.
That's your off Kim. Oh my god, it smells like Christmas. It smells like Christmas.
All right, so what do we do today?
We had a long day at Disney. Very long day at Disney.
What'd you think of it?
I had a great time.
All right, on to this.
Okay.
We got you a present. I mean, I got you a present.
You got me a present. Okay, this is for me?
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Bottom one's mine.
We got an Eeyore.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta tell you, this is the best gift ever, and the people who really appreciate this will be any of my high school friends who happen to catch this vlog, because old 18-year-old Berkey was known as Eeyore, because I used to walk around with my hands in my pockets, just like as if I had lost my tail. Speaking of, does he have a detachable? Fucking right, he does. What is this? This is a pillow? This is what I do with this thing? This is it?
We have already destroyed our record for most views in one Live at the Bike broadcast, and we are only less than an hour into this thing.
I mean, you put together this lineup right here. You have, I mean, Jungleman is one of the biggest names in poker right now. Garrett's been putting on a show. These big pots, obviously. Doug's in the mix. Matt's in the mix here. Ryan's in the mix here. So Matt sizes up here with the bigger pre-flop raise.
And Doug's going to defend the button here with 9-8 of spades.
I think it's pretty standard here. They're super deep.
Yeah, for sure.
And ace-7-7. Doug with the backdoor straight draw flush draw. Berkey with one of the best flops he's going to get here. but Berkey goes for the over half pot bet.
Yeah, I mean,
Doug.
And look at this. It actually, maybe because of that sizing, it gets Doug to spaz a little bit and raise, which you probably shouldn't have that many raises on this flop.
His daddy can't talk.
Look who knows so much, huh? Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
Turn does make Doug a pair, so...
Doug with the overbet, 14,200.
There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. Please open his mouth.
So the overbet on the turn, 14 into 11. And
Doesn't look like it's going to work here.
Mostly dead. He's slightly alive.
Large amount of time. Really?
Oh my God.
what a life. When you run good, you run good.
Holy moly, guacamole. Wow.
Welcome to the life of Doug Polk. I think he's going to bet 30,500.
30,000. Berk says he thought Doug was going to shove, but now he doesn't like it as much.
Doug with the Tom Dwan impression, mouth open, staring at the board.
The head bob.
I've seen this look from Berk one too many times.
9.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Does call.
Makes the call. $100,000 pot for Doug Polk.
Wow.
Goes runner, full house to clip Matt Berkey. What a start in this game for Doug Polk. What a life. You go nuts, turn your hand into a bluff, and just get there. Runner. You're just so dead on the flop.
Hey! Hello in there!
And go backdoor and make a full house. Wow, $100,000 goes to Doug Polk.
The vlog is back. Apologize for the absence. We kind of got backlogged a little bit with Thanksgiving, cutting in between, but don't you worry. We're going to be coming hard for the rest of the year. But as far as this episode goes, I wanted to dissect a hand that I played against Jungleman that I found to be relatively interesting, where we both kind of went to war with the 5 high. So Jungleman opens from the low jack to 400 with the 5-4 of clubs. My favorite hand, actually. And it folds to me on the button. I have 5-3 of spades and cover, and this is a spot that at these depths, I think this hand kind of plays a little bit better as a 3-bet. Especially in a tough environment like this where, you know, it's just gonna be pretty difficult for me to realize all my equity in position against these strong type of opponents. So seizing initiative in this type of environment or dynamic has more relative value than it may in softer scenarios.
Spades, clubs, what comes? One of each.
Unless this comes.
Oh, action flop. They're probably getting stacks in here.
We see a flop of 8-6-3, 1 spade, 1 club, 1 heart. With about 2,400 in the pot, Jungle checks to me, and I elect to bet my bottom pair for 1,700. Now there are a few reasons that I'm choosing to bet here. Most of them are denial and capitalization. I pretty much want to shut out his equity share of the pot here, and you know, I'm just not going to do very well with bottom pair trying to navigate towards showdown. Also, I have very little fear of a check raise here. I block bottom set. I don't really think if he retains overpairs in his pre-flop flatting range that he's going to now suddenly choose to check raise them, as I'm still relatively uncapped and possess aces and kings in my range. So I don't think that like he can just have jacks and decide to play, you know, what could effectively turn into an all-in pot. Lastly, he just doesn't really have that many available made hands to be choosing to check raise. There's only 1 set of 3s left, 3 sets of 6s, 3 sets of 8s, and I guess 2 combinations of 6-8 suited. So surprisingly, Jungleman elects to check raise here to 5,500. Now again, as I discussed, I didn't think he had that many available check raises here. But I suppose he could be working in some other medium strong hands, a hand like, you know, 6-7 of hearts for middle pair and a backdoor flush draw, something along those lines, which actually, you know, kind of puts me in somewhat bad shape. I'm not entirely sure how he's constructing here, so I don't want to, I guess, speculate too much. I just know that I was kind of surprised to see a check raise. He has a lot of available bluffs here in 9-10 suited, 9-7 suited. Obviously, I block 5-4 and 5-7, but there are still 3 combinations of those suited combinations left as well. So it's really going to come down to turn play. I think my hand is still too strong to fold here, but too weak to 3-bet. Just blocking bottom set isn't quite enough of a justification to be 3-betting this board. So I'd like to call. So we see a turn of a jack of spades.
Jack of spades?
Jack of spades is pretty much an effective brick to the board.
Not for Matt.
But not for Berkey. It does pick up additional equity in the pot.
Like, this is just a card where Matt is not folding to any reasonable amount here.
And this is a really interesting card because it kind of appears to be a brick to the board. And from a made hand standpoint, it largely is. But from an equity standpoint, I think this card is going to improve Jungleman's range some of the time. So I think he is going to possess hands like 9-10, potentially even 9-10 of spades, as well as 9-7 of spades. So there's one detrimental hand here, I think. If he has 6-7 of spades and chose to check raise it, then I'm going to be in pretty bad shape. But as you can see, he gains equity with some portion of his range, and he still possesses very few made combinations that just have me in dire straits. So given that the SPR going into the turn is about 3.5 to 1, I'm effectively going to have to make a decision here anytime that he chooses to bet. And my mindset when I called the flop was, if I improve my equity on the turn, I'm going to be all in. So when the Jack of Spades falls, this is really my gin card, outside of a 5 or a 3, of course. What it allows me to do now is kind of shut out all of Jungleman's equity when he makes any sort of betting errors with his range. And perhaps he's not making any, and I just got lucky to find the bare bottom. But I'm not entirely certain. I'm not in Jungleman's head there. He's been drinking Long Islands all night. He's the math, not me. He even says it himself.
I am the math.
I just think that this is a really easy spot for me to turn my bottom pair into a bluff or a semi-bluff, since I have so much equity, and just try to shut out the majority of his range rather than trying to make a decision for a pot-sized river shove, right? Because if I elect to continue through a call here and don't improve on the river, I'm going to be facing a shove and I'm going to be getting bluffed at some relative frequency. And I know that that's okay, but I don't want to be bluffed. I just want to win this pot. And I have a path to do so right here, right now. So Jungleman bets 10,000 into 13, and I elect to shove. He very quickly folds and wants to see the river, and I show a 5, not realizing that, I effectively shoved the best hand. The only thing that could have happened that could have left him at all upset is if I would have had 5-4 of spades, in which case I was still free rolling it. So I thought that hand was really interesting. Feldman, as the hand began, said jokingly, well, clearly these two are going to get stacks in on this board. And by the turn, we had stacks up for grabs. So, that was one of the tougher lineups that I've come across in a 50-100 game. It was a lot of fun to play. I obviously found myself in quite the unfortunate scenario where Doug went from mostly dead to completely alive with his running nines trick versus my ace king. And that got me buried pretty badly for the session. So, that pretty much wraps up the LA trip for me. We have a lot of stuff coming for you for the rest of the month. We have me playing Poker After Dark and getting absolutely wrecked. I'm actually getting ready to go play the 5 Diamond now. So hopefully we're going to have a deep run that we can kind of vlog and show to you there. And we're going to have a special little Christmas treat for you. Old Berkey Claus has some tricks up his sleeve. Lastly, I wanted to announce that we've recently decided to partner with Just Hands Poker. They're going to become a part of the team, and they're going to bring a little bit more of their analytical side to Solve for Why. So be on the lookout for their free podcast that they are still doing weekly, as well as some other material that they're going to be doing under our umbrella moving forward for the next calendar year. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you so much for your patience. I know it's been a long time since we got this vlog out, but I promise you we have a lot more in store, and it's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, Lord,